What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Chaos Report. And, well, just like every day, there's a lot of chaos to report. I would just once, I would love to be able to, deliver some beautiful, great, promising news for each and every one of us, but it's definitely, our news cycle is definitely lacking in any kind of positivity. And it's been lacking like that for a while, but it's getting worse. I mean, I don't know. The State of the Union last night was, well, I mean, as always, and this is why everybody voted for him, me included, he's a pretty charismatic dude, you know? He's kind of like the grandpa that we all have grown up with. Very charming at times, and like I said, he speaks like the normal person. He speaks like, like your grandpa or your uncle or your dad at the dinner table. That's to me that's the feeling I get. He sort of reminds me of my dad. Take away the tax bracket and all the ego, but his mannerisms, you know what I mean? His the way he carries himself, the gestures and all that, he sort of reminds me of my dad. And that makes him very likable. And I do think that he truly wants to build a legacy for himself that is seen upon as positive for the, history books. I do think that would be his goal. That's what his one is. And I do think that his intentions are probably very well intentioned, actions that he's taken, but not always are what you set out to do going to be a positive outcome, I guess. And I think that maybe he's taken on a little too much at once. I really do. I mean, we're stretched kind of thin, right? Don't you think? Don't you think we're just stretched a little thin? I mean, not just with all these war fronts that we seem to keep adding on. Like, honestly, it's too much. I don't think that we have the capability to handle every single one of these fronts at one time. I mean, I just don't. I could be wrong. I'm not a military expert. I don't know what we're capable of. I don't know what kind of capacity we have, but it seems pretty easy to surmise that we do not have the capability to take on the whole world. And that seems like what we're doing. It seems like that's what we're gearing up to. Without a doubt, I don't think we can escape the very reality that we are heading into like a global planetary conflict. I'm not saying it's just, our president's fault. I'm not going there. It takes two to tango, and in this case, multiple governments to tango. I mean, it really does. So I'm not pointing no fingers at anybody as being the culprit. But I'm saying that we are living in a time that there's just too much, man. I don't see how we can sustain or, achieve any kind of beneficial success or beneficial result. I don't know. I don't see that happening. I can't see where that's going to come from anything. I mean, our resources are extremely spread out and just spread too thin. This armada, this war, this preface to war that we have going on right now. Let's just point out just one area, this Iran thing. I don't know. You're kind of caught in between two instances or two theories of thought when you think about it, because they do appear, at least what we normal people who don't really have access to anything except for what the media tells us, and that's just a huge propaganda machine. I mean, I don't believe anything that the mainstream propaganda machine tells us. I mean, there's always probably a shred of truth there. That's why they're delivering it, but they're definitely manipulating it in a way so that we're not seeing the honest truth. We're seeing, they're giving us the surface level news. They're not telling us, the more pertinent details of anything. I don't trust the mainstream media. It's a straight up propaganda machine. It's no different than all these other villainous leaders of the past and their propaganda machines. It's the same thing. It's just a more modernized and, capable machine. I mean, we definitely got the whole planet and our country fooled. And look, it doesn't matter who's in office. No, let's set that straight. There's definitely something higher than what our public, elections have us believing. We're electing a spokesman. That's it. We're not electing a true a true leader or a true policy shifter. We're not. We're not electing the true power structure. That's already in place, and there's nothing that we can do to change it. But get back to what I was saying. This Iran war. I don't see this. There's not going to be a wonderful, giddy, happy, beneficial outcome from this. This is going to be a long, drawn out, and really horrible time. Like the last time when we went there and we dropped these bombs on their nuclear facilities, that was an in and out and a very just nothing substantial about it. And there's a debate. Some people believe that we really didn't even achieve much there. I mean, again, the propaganda machine made us feel like victors. There's a possibility that we really didn't do much damage there. And again, that's not even my point. War and this violence and this destruction, that's not my point. I don't cheer for that. Obviously, if there's a threat, it needs to be handled. But I don't know. I don't think this is going to lead us down to any kind of glorified, happy ending. This is going to be a drawn-out thing. If you just look at the map, you'll see that, Iran, however you want to say it, they're strategically placed and very important to the east, to the other side. I don't even know how to word that to make that sound real or acceptable. Honestly, the other side. We're all humans, people. We need to learn to work together. There should be no divide. There should be no separate sides. I don't know. That's the problem. That's the problem. We're working against each other. I mean, we're never going to win. Nobody's ever going to win. It's not a possibility. That is our fundamental flaw, is that we're always trying to win against another group of humans. Humans. We're all in this together. We're all here together. We need to learn to, cooperate. But like I said, back to this Iran war, if we take them out, which it's not going to be just some easy, effortless thing. There's not going to be no, just smoothing through it. It's going to be a very active, productive, aggressive, drawn out, and tragic event. This whole conflict. I don't know. It's not going to fare well to anybody. That's for sure. But if we do succeed in destroying their infrastructure or their ability to be a buffer, really, that's what Iran is really, they're a buffer. That is why they're so dysfunctional and almost like it's almost like a regime of rebels, like it's a gang territory. It's just all out mayhem. And the reason why is it's a buffer zone between us, the West, and China and Russia. And if we take them out, I promise you, not just because of their buffer zone capacity, but the energy and the shipping and everything that they're used for that other side. Believe me, at some point, China and Russia are going to retaliate and they're going to protect their interests. And removing Iran is absolutely a deficit to their interests. And remember, they're people. They're not going to feel like they need to bend to us just because we're us. No, they're people too, and they're going to fight and defend their own interests and their own lands and their own, their peoples. Whether you want to see them as humans or not, and you want to kind of like pigeonhole them into these monstrous villains, again, that's the propaganda machine just feeding your brain all these negative thoughts that they want you to think. But in all honesty, people, these are people too, and they're going to definitely, fight and strive to protect what's their civilization, their everyday life and their stability. They're going to definitely fight for that. That's a given. And to think that they shouldn't is naive. So this war is going to turn into a massive, never-ending, colossal catastrophe for everybody. It's going to bring China in eventually. It'll bring Russia in probably sooner than eventually. Then you got North Korea. You got all these like villainous actors that are capable of, nuclear annihilation. And we're all at odds with each other. All the big ones, all the nuclear capable countries and power structures are at odds with each other. We're standing on like a precipice right now of global annihilation with these weapons, which what the fuck do we even have these kind of weapons for? I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't understand why two grown men, leaders, but they're grown men, or 3 or 4, or why they can't sit down and come to a fucking conclusion. Why does the answer always have to be death and destruction, extermination of their enemy, their proposed or perceived enemy? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very frustrating to watch. It is. But, you got all these people, podcasters and media anchors and news people seeming to see some sort of victory out of all this. What does victory look like? I mean, what does it look like? I mean, what are we achieving here? I don't know. I think we're just extending our aggression and our aggravation towards each other. We're just extending that. This is going to be a never-ending, like, cultural conflict. It's fucked, man. I don't know. And then in other news, man, we got, like I said, our world is just full of these dysfunctional erosion of systems and stability in every front. We have like we're just now seeing, and remember, this is just a localized view at things. I mean, there's things happening all over the planet. There's not enough time to cover every possible thing. When we're looking at a very pivotal, however you say that word, a very significant time in history right now. The planet itself seems to be acting out, throwing tantrums. It's just groaning and pushing back at everything that humans are doing. It feels like it. It feels like direct responses to everything that we see happening. I mean, could that be a figment of my imagination? I guess, but you see it too, right? I don't think it's a worldwide hallucination. Everybody sees it. Everybody's got an opinion, but the very real actuality, the very real certainty is that something isn't, it's not right now. The human race is fucking, it's cooked. It is truly standing at a very tragic and horrific time in history. And I don't think that we might be at the point of no return. There might not be no fixing it. And really, does anybody even know what it is that they need to fix? I mean, can you really pinpoint the problem? I think it's above us. It's bigger than us. I don't think that we are able to conceptualize what the problem is to come to a result. I don't know. I don't think any of us, including our leaders, know what the fuck we're doing. We are here on this sphere of existence, this planet, and I don't think we even know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know why we're here. We don't know the what's, the ifs, the hows. We fucking have no idea what we're doing. We're winging it, and we're getting it wrong. We've made some huge and horrible mistakes, and we've turned down these wrong, weird, odd, dark, bizarre paths. And people, I think we've gone a little too deep down the wrong direction. At some point, we've made some really bad choices for humanity as a whole. I'm not talking individual choices. I'm talking our civilization has made some huge, dire mistakes, and we've went down some pretty bad roads. And I don't think that I think we've traveled far down that road to find our way back. I don't think that we can fix this. I just don't. We've built too much like technology and infrastructure. We've just too much, and we're like dependent on it now. I mean, that is how we sustain life. All this fragile infrastructure that is controlled by something or someone, and it could be easily turned off or taken away or damaged by, just nature, the sun, whatever. Everything is dependent on this infrastructure that we've built, like this technology, and now all these surveillance systems. And I mean, I can keep going. We don't have enough time to get into all that, but all very real. But this is just, I'm just waking up. I watched the State of the Union last night. I'm drinking some coffee. I'm thinking, damn, what the hell are we doing? And I just thought I'd get on here and, fucking pull your ear a little bit. I don't know. We are past the point of any kind of return. How much, be honest with yourself, think about this. How much further down this technocratic, this technology, this, this path, how much farther can we actually go? I mean, there has to be some sort of reckoning, right? I mean, we're building a tower that's getting too tall right now. Don't you think at some point it's going to just collapse just by sheer physics? Just the nature of reality. Don't you think that we're just going too far down this weird road? I mean, how much farther can we get? We're not going to just get to a certain point and say, okay, we're good and stop. Human nature, that's just not going to happen. We're going to keep digging a hole. We're going to keep marching down this fucked up path. And how much really can we go? How much more can we build? How much deeper can we get? I mean, like right now where we're at feels just to be too much. What's gonna What's the situation? What's it going to be like in 50 fucking years? 50 years isn't that long. I could realistically still be alive in 50 years. I mean, it's stretching it, but I could. I mean, people live that long, and very that short of time in the whole grand scheme of things, with the pace and the acceleration of how we're moving, how far, how deeper, how much more technical can we fucking get? And how good would it be? I mean, is it gonna... I see a future like that, and I see it as being less than natural, like less than human, almost an integration of these, weird robotic shit. I mean, I see it as this. We already have robots that they're saying will be our personal assistants and butlers, like our personal, handyman, our personal honeydew, list, achievers and completers, just our basic fucking personal assistants. What I think they're going to end up being is a fucking policing system. They're going to govern and control our societies and our communities. You don't want that, man. I mean, just think about that. Robots. We're headed for that. We're headed for the very real reality that we are governed and controlled by fucking robots. Robots. If that doesn't worry you, you're not looking at it. You're caught up in the moment. You're one of those people who only live for the moment. You're not looking ahead. And I think it's very pertinent that we look ahead so that we can try to avoid or swerve any kind of possible, problem. Sorry about that. I get a little bit too rambunctious here. But anyways, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm sure everybody has their own opinion. But if you really dig, I don't see how we can conceptualize a positive and bright outcome. I don't see a future as looking bright. It's looking like complete control by definitely not the regular human race, the regular population, by these elites who it's very evident now that the people who run our world are fucked. They're twisted and dark and they're fucked. I don't know. So that's enough for today, man. I'll keep going. I'll keep ranting, but we'll end it there today. Just think on that. Where are we headed? Where are we going right now? What is our outcome? I don't see anything good or positive or hopeful coming for anything. So, anyways, listen, I want everybody to have a great day today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Help me out. I'm brand new. I need all your help. Anything will help. That's the best way to help. And until next time, thanks for watching.